Welcome back to the channel. Well, night one of the NFL draft sure was eventful. Clearly, a lot of teams hit necessary needs. I think that the Raiders got the biggest win of the night in terms of drafting a need in Ashton Jeanty, and shout out to Raider Nation, finally addressing their complete lack of running game. However, I don't think there was a team that did not fill their need to the extent that the Pittsburgh Steelers did not initially. Personally, I believe they're going to get a quarterback tonight, and that could be, if they don't go after the obvious, if he's not available, and that being Soooo Sanders, then they could look at a Tyler Shue, maybe a Kyle McCord or Will Howard. Something tells me that's not going to appease Steelers fans. The video we're going to be checking out here in a little bit is the epitome of not appeasing a Steelers fan. But first and foremost, shout out to the first-round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Derek Harmon, who I think is a more traditional Steelers guy. He's a nasty defensive lineman out of Oregon. A big congratulations to he and his family, and to all of the draft picks from last night and all future ones for tonight and tomorrow. However, there was only one guy that Steelers fans wanted, and when the Steelers came up to their pick at 21 and did not select Soooo Sanders, the following that we're going to check out is the reaction that some Steelers fans have, some Soooo fans had. Not all. But, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. But let's get into this thing right here. We got to check it out from maybe one of the most passionate Steelers fans that I've ever encountered on YouTube, and that being, of course, the man Chiseled Adonis. This dude had a full-blown crash out last night, y'all. So we're going to take a look at that and laugh a little bit, but we're also going to talk about it. So let's check out what Chiseled had to say. Good Lord.
So let me get this straight. The Pittsburgh Steelers are selecting 21 in the 2025 NFL Draft, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. 2 of the top 3 remaining quarterbacks are on the board, one being Jackson Dart, one being Soooo Sanders. The Pittsburgh Steelers let Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both walk out the door.
And that's exactly why the consensus was, if he's there, either of them, but more preferably for a lot of people, Soooo Sanders, if he's there at 21, you got to get him. You have Mason Rudolph and the popcorn guy in the front and in the bleachers. That's what's going on here. But
our current quarterback room is Skylar
Thompson
and Mason Rudolph.
He's a backup to Tua.
All while we're awaiting a response from a 41-year-old man who's fixing to turn 42 in December.
And that was the problem. These fans were legitimately waiting on Aaron Rodgers, who, keep in mind, was an active college football player on a PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube in 2004. Y'all were waiting for him to make a decision whether he was going to play for y'all or not. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. What happened to the standard?
Who needs hallucinogens in order to make it through an off season? Who was born during the Reagan administration? And we select a defensive lineman? What are we doing?
There it is. There it is.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Even if you didn't buy into the hype and all of the media attention of Soooo Sanders, we don't have a quarterback.
Not at all.
Literally. What's the worst that could happen at this point? Oh, man, we don't have a winning season. We weren't projected to have one anyway. And most people would probably want to mess around and tank or something of that nature so we can stop being in the perpetual winning season of 10-7 and 9-8. But we choose a D lineman, and no disrespect to that young man. I hope he goes on to have a prosperous career. But we passed on a quarterback for what? Our quarterback room is Skylar Thompson and Mason Rudolph. Chris Boswell might be throwing passes this year. What are we doing? Release us from the genjutsu that we just so happen to be caught underneath, because every single move this offseason makes no sense. We traded to get DK Metcalf. We've got George Pickens, if I'm not mistaken, entering the final year of his contract, or maybe.
And you know what happens in a player's contract year? They're going to play their best ball to get that bag. But you have George Pickens. You have DK Metcalf. And then you extended him, which is not a Steeler thing to do. You gave that man the bag. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't give out the bag. So you got a number one and a good number two. I wouldn't say George Pickens is a number one receiver, but you've also got Pat Freiermuth, who's a reliable pass-catching tight end. Oh, by the way, you don't have a running back either. Najee Harris is with the Chargers. I'm just saying.
He has a fifth-year option, whatever the case may be. We have wide receivers that don't have a quarterback to throw them the football. And we about to bank the future, the foreseeable future, on a 41-year-old man who needs crack in order to make it through an offseason.
Somewhere Max Kellerman's eyes just got really big and he doesn't know why.
Who don't even know if he wants to play football anymore. Or perhaps, what about if Kirk Cousins becomes available? A man who don't got no Achilles.
Oh, a bag secure with no Achilles and no arm strength. Yeah, that's smart.
We waiting on quarterbacks who don't got no motherfucking Achilles. This what we doing? Is this what we're doing? What kind of general manager kind of thought process is this? What kind of head coach sort of thought process is this? We could take a quarterback, even if it's not Shador, and we go Jackson Dart. Whichever one it may be, if it falls flat and shit don't work out, okay, we work moving forward, but at least we gave it a try at quarterback. We have no vision, no direction, no roadmap, no blueprint for the future whatsoever. We sitting here with dicks in our hands. We might trot out 70-plus-year-old Terry Bradshaw to go throw the motherfucking football.
Ooh.
Big Ben is a podcaster. He might as well come out here and throw the motherfucking football.
Why not Neil O'Donnell? Why not Duck Hodges? Damn, remember, like the video if you remember Duck Hodges. Tommy Maddox, comeback player of the year 2002. Cordell, Slash, shit, somebody.
This is ridiculous. What are we doing, son? 21, right there for you. Stars align. The very same number in which his father wore to enshrine himself into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I didn't even think about
we
that.
could have got Shador. Or if we want to go Jackson Dart, we could have went there too. But oh no. Fuck the quarterback position. We got wide receivers. Nobody got to throw them the football. They can throw the ball to themselves. The center snaps the ball into the ethos. Somehow the football makes it to the wide receiver. Touchdown Steelers. We lose 28-13. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing?
This man's about to crash out, y'all. And remember, Chiz will be making his game highlight commentaries. I don't know if he's going to make it through this season at this rate. I don't know. He literally just up and walked out of the video. Like, he couldn't handle it anymore. And to be fair, I understand where he's coming from. Like, I get it. You have a pressing need at the most important position on the field. Maybe the most important position in all of sports. And you don't use the first pick you have with 2 first-round grade quarterbacks, and you don't take either of them. Again, what are y'all doing, Pittsburgh? Do not understand whatsoever what is going on with Mike Tomlin and that coaching staff, that organization. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers that we all have gotten accustomed to over the last 30-plus years. The standard is the standard. This is mediocre. Y'all just Cleveland Browns y'all's way through that first round of the draft. Now, we'll see what happens tonight. I personally expect Shador to be the first pick to go to the Browns in the second round. Who knows what's going to happen? But this is messy. This is completely messy. But yeah, shout out to Chiseled and everybody who got drafted last night. Congratulations to you for damn sure. So I'll be watching round 2 of the draft tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN or NFL Network, wherever you view the NFL draft. And we'll talk about it more after the weekend winds down and we get draft grades and we can recap. I want to see what my Rams do. We traded out of the first round last night. Back to our more accustomed position of not having a first round draft pick. So I knew that was an outlier. Anyway, if you like the video here, subscribe to me. Let's comment. Let's talk about it. Also, subscribe to Chiseled Adonis if you have not. The dude is absolutely hilarious. He's the internet's most wanted man. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, like Stu Scott always did, hugs and hand pounds, everybody.